Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first race of 2023. One of 23 races for 2023. We will see a quite an interesting grid, to be quite honest with you. There's going to be a lot of changes. We'll be talking about a lot of changes that have been happening. We'll talk about the troubles that Ferrari have already had within the first few days, and basically how else everybody else is going to be doing and trying to chase down the Red Bulls, as it was similar almost to last year. One of the big takeaways I would have to say from this year, though, is the Aston Martin finally making its way up and actually out qualifying the Mercedes. So you'd have to say a team that was almost in seventh or eighth of last year, kind of the end of the grid, has actually jumped up and passed one of the top three competitors with on the grid this year. So this should be interesting. We'll talk about more how Aston Martin now actually caught up. But to start this first, what do you think of the Ferraris not even thinking about doing the last quali lap and saving the tires for the start of the race?
Yeah, this goes back to Ferrari's strategy from last year that has been like increasingly coming under scrutiny, right? They get rid of the team principal Mattia, Rip, and bring in Fred. And apparently, the new set of tires is worth about 4/10 per lap. So Charles wasn't, I believe he was 0.029, I think was the difference from what I heard from the recap this morning. So it may have made a difference, but at the again, it may also make a difference here on this first lap. So I actually think whether they're right or wrong, we are going to know within the next, I don't know, 90 seconds, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it really mattered each way. Like, you can criticize him as much as you want, but I don't think it really made a difference. Like, yes, he maybe would have gotten pole, but what we've seen from last year to this year, and I think it's the same thing. Charles was hinting at this. I don't know how much he's actually sandbagging or not, but he said the race pace isn't as good still. And that's something that they struggled with last year. So they're more focused on the race pace this year. So if they basically would have sacrificed the quality to get in first, Charles is like, I know the race pace isn't good enough. Max is most likely going to end up passing me and winning the race anyways, right? So it's kind of this back and forth. It's quite interesting. And funny enough, well, not funny enough if you're a Ferrari fan, but Charles is already on his second power store for the entire season, as the first one was sent back to Maranello this morning as the parameters were not correct. So he only has two. This
That's
is his
amazing.
second of the entire season, and if he needs to take another one, it's a 10-place grid penalty. Now, they did send back the other piece to Maranello. If they can fix it, then they technically can like swap him back in and out.
Yeah.
But that's the start for reliability. Reliability's been the big problem for Ferrari, and also the race pace themselves. But it should. We'll find out soon if it was worth it or not. I guess the more interesting thing here is also Fernando Alonso in fourth behind the Ferraris, which I guess
Fifth,
we can now
fifth.
call the green, or fifth. We can call the green Red Bull at this point, right?
Yes, it certainly does
Um,
look like one.
we've seen this in the past from not Aston Martin, but it was Racing Point in the previously. Lawrence Stroll, I think it was during like the 2018-2019 season, basically copied the Mercedes, and it was the pink Mercedes on the track.
Yep.
He hired the people that did it. He basically bought all the information, blah blah blah. However you think about paying for things works, but he's done it before. He hired Mark Fellows from Red Bull, who was the right-hand man from Adrian Newey. So you basically have the Red Bull brains now in Aston Martin, and you have Mike Crack there as well, who is the new team principal playing Otmar, and you basically have a completely new car. And also one of the better drivers on the grid. And this is Lance Stroll, which is very interesting. If you could actually look at his wrists when he's driving the car, he went over the handlebars before preseason and broke. I forget if it was left or right wrist.
I think it's both, actually. I heard
He
it was
broke one,
both.
but he hurt both, but one of them had surgery.
Okay.
One has the pin in it. And to like sort of explain, like if you put your hands out on a steering wheel and you start turning all the way like this and you don't actually let off, see how much like torque is actually on your wrist,
Yeah,
and you actually have to hold your wrist and you can't, and you have to twist it all the way. So that's something he has to struggle with for the entire race, to be quite honest with you. It would have been pretty cool to see Felipe Dragovich, but he cleared all the protocols and everything. He's ready to go. and we'll see how it goes. And then there was a picture of Mick Schumacher there, who was replaced by Nico Hulkenberg. And to be honest with you, Hulkenberg put in quite the performance. Gunther looks like he made the right decision. Gnas looks like they made the right decision. Not a knock on Mick or anything, but Hulkenberg came out flying yesterday. Kind of odd for K-Mag. I wasn't able to really understand exactly what happened, but I knew he was having problems in practice. And this is going to be the end of the grid, as you'll see Piastri, who decided to screw his Alpine team, and he's right next to Alpine. So this is very funny. He didn't really move that much up in the grid, and this is going to be the first lights out of 2023. And here we're off in Bahrain. It's lights out, and it seems like Max has a good start. Checo's going to have the Ferrari has an even better start. Checo has a really bad start here. Checo's going to be squeezed between all three. They're going to go side by side. Max is going to take the inside line. Charles is going to take the outside. Checo's on the inside. He's going to be between two Ferraris. He's probably going to end up in third, and Sainz is going to end up behind. It looks like the Alpha is going to go on the outside of the McLaren of Norris right there, and then Max is going to be up front. Both of the Ferraris are drag racing between. The Red Bulls have been split, and it looks like Max is going to be off. And then there was a yellow flag in the back. I didn't see it. I think it was Fernando and Stroll. I'm actually pretty sure, or it may have been
Fernando
one of the Mercedes.
And Stroll just keep flipping positions here, but so it looks like the tire choice for Ferrari was right.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out. They were able to get in front of Checo there. Checo had a really bad start. He had like an awful start. Maybe it was the tires, maybe it wasn't. But Alonso actually kind of seems to be the worse off here, falling back all the way in seventh here. We'll have to be able to get the replay of the actual incident. But as we have here for the Red Bull, Max Verstappen's out in front, and there's pieces flying off of cars. And I think that's I think someone's wing. And the AlphaTauri, which now looks like the Alfa Romeo of last year because of the red, is still all the way in the back.
Trying to figure out between the Mercedes and the the Astons that are right next to each other is very difficult because they both
the only way you can tell the difference is the lime green for Lewis.
Yeah,
on the lime
above the air intake.
The lighter yellow, the yellow is Lewis and the green is George, I think. But this is good. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's to pick up the debris, which should maybe bring the pack up back together. There's still no DRS here, and you'll have the Mercedes in together, both of the Williams there. You have to say, Logan Sargent, the lone American on the grid, up into 13th. He actually had a pretty good qualifying. He tied the 15th time, but he was it later, so he ended up in 16th. But he technically qualified to get out of Q1, which is really good for the first American actually since I forget who exactly was. Here's Lance Stroll, obviously diving in and hitting his teammate. That's no different. Goodness. And you see on his left hand there how he can't grip the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Right? His left hand goes over the steering wheel. You're never really supposed to do that because you can't feel the car. And he literally T-bones Alonso. So nothing's changed from this year or last year. You have daddy's money and now you're the driver. So I guess that's what it is. But
I actually think
nothing's changed there.
The other thing that hasn't changed at all is Verstappen's dominance, actually.
Yeah, so this was actually pretty funny. Yesterday, I wasn't really they were all sandbagging, and Red Bull was sandbagging a lot. Ferrari almost sandbagged the most. And there was a joke that the piece that flew off of Leclerc's car at the beginning was a sandbag, and finally made it go faster. But once you actually saw them lock in for Q3, it was pretty. You're like, this is the usual Max Verstappen that we're used to seeing.
It was
just absolutely sending it, and nobody can get really close to it. And it's kind of the same thing that we've seen here. Now, I will say, Checo was only a 10th off of Max, which is a really good improvement from last year. He kind of was tailing off towards the end, but getting Checo up and getting into this battle is really important. Seeing Checo maybe can get in front of Leclerc, that'd be huge. But with no DRS right now, we're probably not going to see too much, and I don't think each Williams going to battle each other. I will say hats off to Duracell for the most clever advertising there is, just making the hood scoop look like a battery. It's pretty
Oh,
smart.
really? Hold on.
Yeah,
where?
Look at the Williams. It's really smart. It's so funny.
I see. Because you have like the copper part at the start. Okay.
The preview of the. Yeah, Perez probably with the worst start ever, and then he's trying to defend. Wow, he's.
I thought he hit the Ferrari.
I did too. They did really well, not actually touching. And this is the dive.
So this is what we're saying. So actually, You
No,
can
this is not where the Astons hit each other
No, no, no.
yet. It's
I was going to talk
later.
about Ferrari actually. I was going to talk about starting in position 3 because you can actually go around. You can be on the outside going into turn 2, and you actually make the pass stick by going on the outside here. So Leclerc's positioning is actually picture perfect. He's right where he wants to be, and actually you can see that he makes this one. He makes this one stick. Oh my gosh, it is so close. He kind of get like drafts behind Verstappen for a second.
Yeah, there's not much he can really do.
See, and so when you're on the outside here of turn 1, you're actually on the racing line to go into turn 2 with an advantage, which is essentially what happens for Leclerc, and
So
Perez
bad.
gets stuck.
Alonso can't catch a break. What last year he was always hit by Ocon or screwed by Ocon, and now
Yeah.
this year his teammate is hitting him on the first lap. And I think this is Hulkenberg, or maybe it's not. Consider
Yes, it
oh
is.
the
It's the
Alpine
wing.
hits the front left of the
I mean,
yeah that's what fell off.
you
Yeah,
know who
makes
can't
sense.
catch breaks is Gunther.
Yeah, that
Poor
is
guy.
true. Except the car looks pretty good.
But yeah, like what you said about like Q3, right? Like last year's qualifying time was a 1:30. Max went in and put in a 1:29 right off the bat, and you're just like, okay, well, uh,
Yeah,
he's
so
in
this
he's in
is
form again.
so this is very interesting, and this is what I sort of want to talk to you about. And now that I'm doing some coding and stuff like that, running models, it makes more sense to me. So the wind tunnel that everybody uses,
Yeah,
everybody is given the same base 60%, like training
yeah,
data, basically. And then the 40% after that is all on your own and whatever else you can do. And then as you are lower on the grid, so Aston Martin got more time because they were farther off to try to get them and level set the competition. Red Bull gets the least on their penalties. Ferrari got the second least. Mercedes got the third least, right?
okay.
So when you're sort of doing this as you go, when the models are running and the algorithms are all running themselves, right? Over time, the 60% of the model will actually get so good that it is able to train the next 40%. Like over time, it gets better and better on its own, right? So all the cars that are using the base 60% model, and that's a huge lockup from Leclerc on his front left. That
Yeah,
may be an issue later on. It basically gets smarter and smarter as you go on. And that's going to be a pass there from Lance Stroll, maybe on Valtteri Bottas, and hopefully makes it stick. And he does. He's going to be now behind Alonso, who he's already hit. Um, so over time, all the cars, and if you're basically another team, your car's getting smarter without you even touching the sim, right?
well,
Because
I
other teams
imagine.
are running the 60% and it's still getting smarter and smarter, right? So over time, all the cars are going to converge as they run the same models and the same algorithms. They may be slightly different, but over time, they're all going to somewhat converge and become sort of the same. Where
Yeah,
it's
but I
different
don't
from
think
years past, where it wasn't like that.
Yeah, but I don't think you share the data back.
No,
Like,
the 60% that you still use, they were talking about it yesterday. I have to look into it more, but that's
uh,
still stuck there.
okay.
Like the base 60% model is always going to be there.
Then
And
it's
then the
always probably
40%,
like
you
the
run your
same.
own 40%, right? So just kind of interesting. Like they've almost, but it makes sense from a competition perspective, right?
Sure,
You
sure.
want that to happen. You want the cars to sort of converge and be equal over time. Whereas
Oh, I see. Well,
obviously
yeah,
10,
because you get more
15
and more
years
data.
ago,
Yeah.
they didn't have algorithms and models. So everybody just went off in their own directions. And eventually, like one car was clearly better than the other,
Well, you
right?
also see the
And everybody
development of
tried
the
to copy it.
cars has
Yeah, it's
converged significantly too, especially into
exact.
year
Yes,
into year 2. Although,
exactly.
and then you have Mercedes who's like off in their own world doing like
Well,
whatever, which
they
is
have
like,
so Mercedes actually has a second car
is
that is
there a
exactly like the
visor?
Red Bulls and Ferraris.
There's a
So
tear off stuck there.
there is actually. But
Yeah.
the two what's it called? They have two cars, Mercedes. They have a
Mm.
second car that is similar to the Red Bulls and Ferrari design, just in case if halfway through the season, like they just can't get this car to go fast
Oh,
enough.
no kidding.
Well, totally, yeah. They
Uh,
they have a plan B already set up where they're like parallel designing almost.
Interesting. That
Because
that's
they're
that's
like,
fascinating.
if we can't keep going this far, we're going to just have to revert, copy, and try to improve and be better than everybody else, which makes sense. And
Yeah,
there's the
yeah.
Duracell for
Yeah,
everybody.
there's the Duracell
So I just
battery,
thought it
right?
was
It's
interesting
got the
how
copper
they're
front.
running models and algorithms on the cars, right? And they're just going to converge eventually. Like they get so smart that I don't know. I thought it was just pretty interesting. I didn't know that part. I thought you just walked into the wind tunnel with your own like chip and walked in and it was your own and like nobody shared the data and like the base data or the base model was never there. It was like your own model, right? But
Mm.
it's all shared. I didn't know that.
Well, but then you can all. I mean, the teams also do their own like computational fluid dynamics stuff.
Yes, exactly. They have still their own things,
Yeah.
but the idea to converge them all is pretty interesting, I would have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it increases the competitiveness of the sport, which
And I think we've seen that,
We've
right?
seen that,
And I
yeah.
think we've seen that, except the Red Bull's just kind of on its own.
Well, I mean, Max is in a league of his own, to be honest.
Yeah, there's that as well, right? There's
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know if it's
He-
fully the car or not.
He's
But
making it look effortless. Like he
there's
really
also
is.
there's also another topic here, which is pretty interesting. The two teams that were battling for fourth last year.
Yes. Are
Like
battling
the worst teams on the grid.
are battling to stay out of last.
Yeah.
And
so
I don't understand how this
I'm
happens.
confused by this. I've tried to read about this. I've read the stuff about Alpine. I've read a bunch of stuff about McLaren. I
Like
don't know. It doesn't add up.
you
I
would
don't. I
think-
can't find an answer anywhere. Really, I don't get it.
you would think you could just show up with the car from last year and you'd be in better shape,
And that's what I also thought.
right?
Because
Like
I'm pretty sure their lap times were like just 0.3, 0.5 difference, and it's not that. I don't know. I don't really understand how you go backwards, or maybe it's that you didn't go backwards. You just didn't. You increased your performance by 0.5 when everybody increased by half, like a second, right? And maybe that's the difference. But
maybe.
this doesn't line up for me because there was nothing going on in McLaren that was like a problem. Like
Well,
nobody said it. That's the thing. They just said they came up short on certain aerodynamic features of the car. But
Yeah, it
I
feels
mean, I
like
don't know.
it feels like they were it's like somebody took a long vacation and then they're like, oh, it's time to get back to work, but then they just got to Bahrain and they're like, we haven't started. It's like you're late for the project report and you're trying to get it
That's
done
the thing that I didn't fully
the night
understand. And
before.
now, and another topic for Williams too. You see them running 11th and 13th. I would actually have to say, watch out for Williams this year. They're a new team principal. They got rid of Jos Capito, which was like sort of mutual. It was kind of time for him to go. They actually brought in James Foles, which we all know James from Mercedes. I mean,
Yeah,
it's basically
strategy.
like one of Toto's like right hands. He basically was with him every step of the way. He now runs Williams, and it's kind of like a Mercedes sister team, but just the development and the way Williams is now run moving forward, I think is going to be very different. And also, Voles has a very strong relationship with Albon through his junior years as well. So that's going to be very interesting. Expect him to be a little higher and more competitive throughout the year. I would have to say.
To your point about the Alpine and the McLaren, though, like they have one car that is actually performing decently, right? They have Ocon and they have Norris, and then their two new drivers, Piastri and Gasly, are the ones
George
really
went off
struggling.
the track there at turn 9.
Yeah, that's track limits. But Gasly isn't a rookie, so obviously, like, he's either having trouble adjusting to the car, or the setup isn't right for him, or something, right?
Is Lewis? Interesting. So it looks like George is maybe going to pass Lewis here.
And I'm trying to look through.
Struggling.
I mean,
yeah, this is where he lost it though. This is turn 9 into 9, 10. Trying to brake. It just doesn't turn.
Yeah, it doesn't turn. It locks up on him.
Get the car.
You were mentioning on the Leclerc lockup. Actually, he had a lockup in qualifying that they had to scrub a set of tires.
He talked about that. He said it wasn't anything to do with the part that came off. He was just too aggressive.
Okay.
He literally admitted. He's like, yeah, I just was a little. It was my fault. He's basically admitted it was driver error and had nothing to do with the piece that came off. Which he's like, yeah, I didn't feel anything different. So,
I mean, we're 9 laps in, and the gap is six seconds.
Yeah, dude. The gap is
Verstappen
ridiculous.
is just. I actually was gonna say from the start of this thing,
I didn't
unless
think it was going to be this bad.
no, I
So
said unless Verstappen has like some act of God that like he DNFs, like it's we're just gonna sit here and watch
I
like 2
I
through
also thought they were
20.
going to win. I initially thought Red Bull was going to win, but I also at the same time didn't like. I didn't think it was going to be a 6-second lead by lap 9.
It's dominant. They
I
are
thought it was
that
going to be
good.
only a few seconds.
No,
It's
they're
just a
that
lot more
good.
than I thought.
You would even think like maybe the Alonso pulls some magic out, but El Plan is stuck in 7th at the moment. Down there, and even Perez, I mean, is his second 1.8 seconds behind Leclerc, which puts him almost 8 seconds behind his own teammate. Um, the Mercedes are well out of the running, and Max just put in the
Verstappen
fastest
radio.
lap. I seem to be
These
getting
downshifts
Ferrari's
are getting
radio.
rear locking.
Interestingly.
Downshift the rear's lock. That's very weird. And I think that's it for Gasly.
Is it?
I This is a pit? For what? Okay.
All right, they're trying to get him
I
out.
guess the softs were only supposed to go for 10. I mean, this is the I'm in the back of the grid, let's just send it.
Yeah,
For
let's
like
try
a
something different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just go for a flyer at this point. It's like in sailing when you're at the back end, you might as well just do the opposite of everybody else, right?
Yep, so he goes on to hards here, and at
That
least he's
car
in
is still
clean air.
so ugly.
The pink is kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
just not a fan of it.
I mean, I feel like Max could drive the car in
I feel like he could drive it
7th
in like
gear
5
instead
power
of,
modes down,
yeah,
yeah, and it would
instead of 8th, and it would still be,
like literally no
it
different.
would still be okay. This was the thing I was gonna say. I think we're just gonna Max is gonna come on and be like, that was a lovely Sunday drive, and then that'll be that'll be it basically.
Maybe there's a window here where Alonso is zero point 0.4 behind Russell and maybe can make a move on the straight. I mean, honestly, the ones that can make this fun is Aston Martin, Ferrari, and Mercedes. Really, like the Red
Yeah.
Bulls are just sort of, and
Well, I mean,
that is
Perez is
with
still in the pack,
DRS, and
but
he's actually making a pretty good. Uh, okay, he's not going to get close enough, but I do want to say that the Mercedes is much faster this year in a straight line. Like last year, he probably passes him.
well, they're certainly not porpoising. So
No.
that's all been
Oh, and
figured.
this is Piastri on a double pass on Magnussen and Hulk. Wait,
It's
no, on
Joe.
Hulkenberg and Joe.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. So Piastri moves himself up there and his racing
Yeah,
debut.
he's going up.
Hey, McLaren trades one Aussie for another actually, as we have Sonoda and Norris actually
Yeah, I
going into
guess
the
you're
pit.
right.
So it's an early pit
These are
there
early
for
pits for the. They're
for
going
Norris.
soft, hard, I think,
Yeah.
is the plan. And this is Alonso on the back of Russell, and I mean, he's eventually going to make a move, I'm assuming. This is he has DRS here. Maybe he's going to be able to get it down this straight or just get close enough. Yeah, he's going to go on the outside. Think about it. No, George, just nice job there
He's too
on the
far.
defense, but he's going to get him maybe at the end. He's carrying way more speed.
Oh my goodness.
They also came up with a really new map, a really cool map showing which cars are faster in certain areas, like on the track map. I hope they do show it. It was really neat. They were comparing the Ferrari or the Red Bull to Mercedes, which kind of showed that it was the Red Bull was dominant everywhere. So it wasn't very
Like
good for
where
anything,
faster everywhere.
but Russell radio. Okay, so yeah, this makes sense. Around 10, this was the limit of the softs.
Yeah.
And Alonso's too far back here. I'm assuming this is going to be on the next lap.
You see, there's a very high.
Or they tried to juke Alonso. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to touch on, and I don't really know if I agree with it. And it caused a lot of. This is Alonso again. Maybe we'll talk about it after one of these pit because this is getting exciting.
Well, it's actually
Alright,
Lewis who's like
Oh,
you
because
get the rear.
George went in. Yeah. Or wait,
No, they're
no,
still
they
running
put the
here.
wrong graphic. This is definitely George. It's a 63 on the back.
Oh, okay, they put the wrong graphic. There
Yeah,
you
they
go.
messed up. It wasn't us. I was like, wait, did Russell pit? But he didn't. Lots of pits coming in. De Vries, who I was hoping was going to be doing a lot better, but maybe the AlphaTauri itself just isn't very good. Use DRS active again. Alonso's losing time here. He's not going to be able to get around. Inaccurate grid position. What? Maybe he wasn't on the starting
Yeah. Could have been
on the
over the
starting grid
line.
or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, over they had the front tires over that line, right? That typically they have to park up against. Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
yeah, he's so much faster right here. Nah, I
the
can't
most
do it
interesting
though.
battle, to your point, might be Mercedes Aston for third.
Hamilton's gonna box. I think they're gonna keep Russell out. Maybe Alonso gets the pass here. It's gonna have to go on the inside or he'll stay outside. Russell goes inside. That's good defense there from Russell, making him take the longer way around. Very nice defense there from Russell. But he maybe get a better exit. He's gonna have DRS. I don't think Russell's gonna be able to defend all of this into the next hairpin. He's gonna go on the outside. Alonso's gonna take the inside, and Alonso. Oh no! They're
Nope.
gonna still keep going. Wow! And
These
he's
two
gonna have
are
to go
wheel to
back
wheel,
inside, and Russell's gonna keep going. Oh,
and he will get this to stick
yeah.
actually now.
There's not much. I don't think there's anything Russell could have done, to be honest with you.
Actually, that was the most exciting piece of racing we've had all
Yeah,
afternoon.
George did really well there. I don't think George could have really done much else, and I think Alonso did an excellent job.
Yeah.
You know what I think happened? That's the same thing we saw last year with Charles and Max, where Max would dive the first corner, and then Charles would just take the better line and pass him right there.
And actually, if you're George Russell, you're in trouble again because Lance Stroll is right behind
Yeah,
you.
but he's
gonna
gonna
look to
pit.
try
He's
to
gonna
make.
pit right now.
Okay, yeah,
They're gonna
they're
put
gonna pit
Russell
him.
in the pits.
Fair.
Oh, this is a cool view.
My God, it's so close, man. I mean, like,
It's crazy. He changes brake balance and stuff like that, literally when he's wheel to wheel with another car.
oh my
That was really good.
goodness.
Let's see a Ferrari pit stop. First one of the year for Charles. That was very good.
I
Fantastic
think
there
they're gonna
from
double
Ferrari. I
stack
think
the cars.
that was almost like
Actually,
under 2 seconds there.
yeah, they're stacking. They're double stacking here.
This is the wrong pit lane timer, by the way. This is F1 inting once again. Yeah, they realized the graphic was wrong.
Oh, Carlos Sainz kind of slides out there. He has
That
to
was
go. Whew.
the
Real.
George pit stops worse than both of the Ferrari ones. Yeah, the back
Oof.
left. Yeah, Ferrari, excellent pit stop there. Mercedes, not great. Piastri radio, I think they're coming in. Okay, never mind. He lost the gearbox.
He lost the gearbox.
They think it's a steering wheel. So if anybody has actually seen the famous Lewis Hamilton wheel swap, it's actually quite interesting. And that Alpine wing is
That Alpine wing is in a not the right
last
spot.
last year they black and white flagged almost all of those. So I'm surprised he hasn't been black and white flagged to where he has to come in and pit and replace the front, because I remember K-Mag got screwed by that like 10 times. Here's going to be the steering wheel replacement. Nice, fast.
Ah, yes, you're right.
Not that fast.
They have to
It has to
activate the
load
steering.
in.
It has to load the steering wheel. He
Verstappen's
can't
gonna-
actually go because he can't shift. Ah, interesting. He can't activate the steering wheel. That's crazy, dude. It's like, imagine your car. Like,
quick pit stop from Red Bull there.
imagine you had to you got into your car and you had to like boot up your laptop in order to shift gears. That's exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah, it looked like he put it. That's so weird. I feel like that shouldn't be like that. I feel like you should just
but
like
you
it should
can't-
just be plug and play.
Yeah, but like they have to like boot the thing. I
Yeah, it should have been
wonder-
pre-booted.
I would
or
think
like-
so, right?
Like it shouldn't.
It's crazy. It's like you're trying to boot your work laptop after a one of those.
Oh, I mean, I
crazy
get maybe it
updates.
wasn't the actual wheel that wasn't booted. Maybe the car is actually screwed. But like,
No, but it looked like it was. It had
Oh,
to
Russell's
start.
gonna go on the inside here of the Haas, and I think this is, dude, I can't tell the Haas's apart. They look identical. It's K-Mag. They don't, where's the number on the Haas?
They probably took
Oh,
it
it's only on the
off.
front?
They probably took it off for weight savings. Gunther would and cost savings. Yeah, and Piastri is retired, so they couldn't get that.
No comment.
They couldn't get the
That's brutal.
swap to work. So unfortunately, poor guy. He was actually running up in almost up in the top 10 when he came in for that pit. But that's unfortunate. So we have our first retirement of 2023.
Yeah, we thought it was gonna be.
One of our rookies.
This is the inside pass here. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
You know, so the
Oh, we have Zach Brown this week. That's awkward.
Yeah, we have Zach Brown this week. I thought that was also very awkward because they had him in qualifying.
Ocon has a penalty for where he started, I'm assuming. It's 5 seconds, Jesus.
Yeah, for
What a start.
being over the line.
This is Stroll in the pit. Alonso has already pitted. That's been a pretty good pit. Also, I have to say the Aston Martin pit team has been like dropping like 2 seconds, like under like 2.4 to 2.2 second ones. Pretty insane. And now this is interesting. This is now Russell pushing Alonso and has DRS on Alonso. So now we have the flip.
Yeah, Russell actually just put in. He has got the fastest lap time at 1:37.46 actually, as the Red Bull's still out.
Well, Russell put in that Q1 time that was nuts yesterday, or both of the Mercedes, and then after that there was nothing.
Oh, sorry, Verstappen pitted as well onto hards. They left Perez
Yeah, Perez
out.
is in. Yeah, Perez hasn't pitted yet.
Yeah, they left him out there to push. Okay.
Yeah, so Ocon was too far forward, and then he also had to replace the front wing. So Ocon's yeah, it's a kind of just
he's
race around the back of the pack at this point.
That's so Alpine's hopes basically rest with Pierre Gasly at this point.
Yeah, Pierre Gasoso.
Pedro Gasioso. Sorry, I'm looking at intervals here, and yes,
it's the Mercedes. That's the only one that's like kind of interesting.
I mean Verstappen is 10 seconds behind Perez, but that's going to be a pit. Is it like a 23-second pit or whatever? So actually, Leclerc is technically in front, I think, assuming the pit is about 22 seconds or so. And Verstappen is actually catching Perez. So I'm not sure why Red Bull is continuing to leave Perez out on these old softs.
Because Perez is just blocking the. Oh yeah, I don't know actually.
No,
this is Fernando and Bottas here battling it out. Bottas gets past.
Perez is losing a second a lap to even Leclerc, and at this point, if he pits, he's going to come out behind him. Okay, so he just pitted.
Yeah, I think the idea is to give Perez the better tires at the end of the race to be able to actually pass Leclerc.
Maybe, yeah, it could
because
be.
he was always going to split the two Ferraris, right? So they want, yeah, it's weird actually. I don't really understand that. Now they're going to box him. And they're going to put him on softs.
So I think this must be the used set.
It's not the best, but not the worst.
No,
Never
not the
mind.
worst.
2.4 is pretty good.
Pretty good. So you see Leclerc coming
You can
down
tell
the
how
main
much Ted
straight.
Kravitz hates Red Bull. Because he said it was bad and it was 2.4 seconds.
Yeah,
this is Leclerc in front of him.
This is what I said. Leclerc was going to beat him by like 3 or 4 seconds.
But the difference here is that he has the softs to chase him down. I'm confused why they put him on double. They're putting him on double, soft, and then hard at the end, while the other teams are going soft, hard.
Well, it's definitely a two-stop.
And this is the Mercedes attempting to pass on the Alpha. I think this is Bottas versus Russell here, actually. Bottas is on the inside here. Russell's going to basically try to take the same thing, do the same thing Alonso did to him, to Bottas. I don't think Bottas is going to have the straight line speed, and I think Russell's going to be able to get this one kind of easy. Yeah,
These two have a bit of a history, don't they? Ah.
Yeah, they don't really like each other.
Goodness.
But
And
unfortunately, I
Nora,
don't think the Alfa Romeo just doesn't have the actual speed. But he's actually doing pretty well to be up in 8th with it. And yeah, you point out Norris. I wonder if that's also a retirement. He's been in the pit for a while at this point, right?
that's the second
Okay, pit exit.
stop. Yeah,
He's
I
pitted
don't.
twice
It's pitted
on
twice.
softs.
I don't know. McLaren's having issues, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Alex
not really
Albon
sure.
currently running in the points for Williams.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The Williams actually have totally can get points like every race. Their cars are actually like pretty decent. Their drivers are some of the better drivers on the grid, I would say.
As far as like
compared to their level teams.
The midfield for the midfield teams.
Yeah.
What else have we got? So, I mean, Leclerc running out. Everybody kind of running their own race. Let's see. Let me look at the map. Yeah, big gap to Verstappen. Decent spacing between 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's Alonso trying to chase down Hamilton at the moment. And we take a look here. Last lap for Alonso 138.1. Last lap for Hamilton at 138.7. And so there's a bit of a gain there for the
what's going on?
the Aston Martin team. Did they even swap tires?
Wait, what? Did they have to like put hydraulic fluid or something in it? They were like filling it up with something.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, it wasn't a tire stop or anything. I don't really understand.
Maybe braking fluid or something?
Hydraulic? No, I have no clue. I will say it's
weird.
finally nice that Ferrari put the actual logo of the Ferrari on the back of the rear wing for once.
There you
Last
go.
year it was just black, and it was like you guys are missing some pretty nice advertising space there.
Yeah.
This is no, this is Checo. It's not Max. Here's Verstappen radio. How are the downshifts?
So this was the problem. Still not good, but
The same thing.
It's fine there. So you have Ferrari and Red Bull on looking to have opposite strategies. Actually, you might see it if Ferrari is trying to end the race on soft tires, versus Red Bull who's just
going to make the pass on Valtteri. Unfortunately, Valtteri's just getting past like a sitting duck at this point. But I don't think that's really his fault, to be quite honest with you. I just don't think his car is actually fast enough. That's just, I don't know. He's just kind of getting eaten up. There's not much he can do, especially without DRS.
Speaking of fast cars, Russell's still holding on to fastest lap right now. And I'm still looking at Alonso, who's still sort of chewing away slowly at the advantage to Hamilton, which sits at about 3.7 seconds right now.
Stroll.
Oh, we got actually we had Vanessa Fox. Thank you for subbing.
There you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that notification didn't appear on Streamlabs. Weird. Actually, Perez is now going to throw in the fastest lap, 137.4.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying with the softs. He actually may be able to catch Charles, get in front of him, and then pit in front of him.
I think it's kind of. I think you're kind of right.
But I don't know. Like maybe that was the idea.
Well, I think you have
because he made the tires last 17 laps, right, on softs. But then around like 12 or 13, his time started to fall off, right? So here's Norris, probably. I guess they're trying to make the best out of it.
So, funny enough, they're basically racing.
Oh, it did pop up on YouTube.
Yeah, it just did. It was late, I guess. I got the email first. They're like racing Alpine, but they're doing it in 18th and 19th place.
Yeah.
So yeah, the teams that were sitting in
So this
fourth
is his
and fifth.
penalty.
Oh yeah, so he's over his line here. This yellow line.
Dude, he's blatantly
Oops,
over it.
Oops. Yeah, he's over.
Like very over it.
And for some reason they're like, yeah, we just want to finish in front of Ocon, but like nobody gets points down there, so like, what does it matter? This looks like such a slow wing repair, man. Like there's just no sense of urgency by anybody. They're like, oh, let's have our croissants and then like replace the wing.
I feel like last year it was easier to put the wing back on.
Maybe.
And
And
I
actually,
could be wrong.
Perez puts in another actually just beats his own fastest lap, and he's catching Leclerc actually.
He is, and that was a lockup there on the right rear. Or left rear, if I'm looking at it from his perspective.
So it's about 2.7 right now, the interval between Perez and Leclerc, and it was at about 4 when they went for the pit stop. He's gaining about 2 to 3 tenths per lap. So, well, we need another good number of laps actually, if it's only 2 to 3 tenths, about 7 or 8. So I think we look for something around lap 20, maybe lap 30. See if this, if he can actually make the tires stick for the long stint.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. This is what Checo needs to do though this season, right? Like last year there was like slight questions about it at the start, then they gave him the contract after the Monaco win, etc. Blah blah blah. But like this is what he needs to he needs to do this season. He needs to actually challenge Leclerc, if that makes sense. Like he needs to be able to one-on-one be able to go faster and beat Leclerc and get second every time. That's what he needs to do.
I agree. I mean,
I don't think he'll ever catch Max. I don't think if you put, I mean, you could even put Charles in the Red Bull. I don't think he's gonna really even catch Max either. Like it's kind of in his own world right now. But
I mean, you even had the article come out earlier this week about Perez saying that like Red Bull needed to play fairly between him and Max, something of the sort, right? I think that was an article posted earlier this week. So I mean, he definitely wants to. He's definitely looking for it. So yeah, here's the sector times.
Really, another fastest lap.
That last lap was almost a second faster. You see in sector
one.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's not even like the laps are that fast. They're only doing 138.
I know, but
right,
he's
like
still...
it's like 9 seconds above the actual qualifying, which is usual, right? Here's Lando and Ocon.
I feel like I'm watching F1 in slow motion, man.
Yeah, watching these two, it's watching slow motion F1.
Literally, we're watching F2 or F3 here, man.
I love how Drive to Survive tried to like hype this like rivalry up so much, and it's just total fail.
These cars are going so slow, man. I can't. It's actually kind of funny.
It's like really slow.
You wouldn't even know that there's anybody else on the track. Like you can't see anybody. There's just like they're so far behind
where's
everyone.
The map? Oh yeah, they literally are that far back on the map.
That's what I'm saying. I had to look at the map and I was like, where is the rest of the field?
Watch, these two are gonna like wreck each other and make the entire at the back of the grid. It's gonna be like the same thing.
Oh my god.
So Norris is taking the inside, gonna try the same thing Alonso did on George. You get the better exit here, you try to get the speed, and then it looks like he's gonna have the straight line speed to be able to pass the Alpine here. And he will. He'll be able to get the pass pretty easily. Dude, that Alpine is like...
Well, I mean, you got Gasly running up in 12th right now. So
yeah,
like,
what's like going on?
Right now, none. They don't have points anyway. Albon still's got 10th. Bottas is still in 9th. Stroll, Russell, Alonso, Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Leclerc.
Yeah, we come back to the Perez Leclerc thing, who's 1.3. I also feel like this year they just do, maybe nothing's been happening that's interesting, but there's like no radio comms.
I don't know. I feel like they have given us
no radio comms.
Some of them, but
Yeah, but less. It's the driver. It's not the
Ah.
driver.
Let's see. Okay. I
See, like,
jumped
there's
down
been no Leclerc.
Padros,
The only
rather.
driver we've heard was Max complaining about the gear shifts. I don't think we've actually heard any other driver.
Ferrari saying that its tire degradation is not as bad as expected.
Yeah, it
What's
doesn't matter.
interesting
It's
here.
it's still worse than the Red Bull, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but
Well, it's
I
irrelevant
do
for them
wonder
fighting each other.
if Perez is just really, you know, sort of running the heck out of these tires, though.
Wait, ESPN Live coverage exclusively presented by Mercedes.
Oh,
Benz.
you just caught that?
Yeah,
I just saw
That's
that
so
too.
weird.
Yeah,
That's very funny.
they're sponsoring themselves.
Yeah, they're sponsoring their own thing. His DRS should open here.
Yeah, it should.
I don't think he can pass him here. He's gonna have to get the better exit and then pass him where we just saw Lando do the pass.
No, but he can get him on the other
No,
straight.
he actually didn't do that. He didn't. He's gonna take the same line.
Wait, Ocon got another penalty?
Oh, dude, what is going on?
For what?
He didn't serve the 5 second correctly.
Oh my! I mean, does
Oh
somebody not
my
have a
God.
stopwatch?
You
Okay,
just,
this is
I
a
was
horror
just,
show.
at that point, just retire.
It's a horror show, man. Yeah, you're already last. Like, you may as well just save
Unless
the
you
engine.
need, unless you need testing data or something, then, but, Jesus.
Serving time penalty incorrectly? Oh my, like, wow.
I guess somebody really was having a croissant during that Alonso radio. I think he's talking about Mercedes.
I think so. I think it would have to be talking about Mercedes, yeah. I think you're right.
I'm assuming Checo will get him down this straight.
Well,
Not this one, the main straight.
yeah,
I mean.
yeah, he can't flip the
Or
wing
like
open
on the
yet.
second straight. They actually turned the wing open on. It's that DRS line
Here.
with the Pirelli. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna get him on this one. I think he needs to take the better line and then try to pass him later, like usual.
Actually, I think Leclerc gets a better, like, jump.
Oh, wow, that was actually not
never
even
mind.
close.
Okay.
No,
I was gonna
he went super wide though. No, wow.
He'll make it
Jesus,
stick.
It's way too easy. Yeah, he did make it stick.
I
And
was
then
gonna.
he kept the DRS.
Yeah.
Oh, Charles gonna go on the inside.
no way.
Yeah.
I was about to say I thought Leclerc had a good exit.
Wait,
on
how
the
did he
final
keep
turn.
the DRS?
Because don't you get DRS on? You have a detection on the main straight
No.
too.
Oh, he was still behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was the strategy and it worked. I guess we sort of called it. They wanted to send him on the softs to chase down the Ferrari. And now that he's in front, they can basically throw Perez on the hards and match Charles 1-for-1 later
Yes.
on in the
So
race.
at this point, you just cover the pit
Yeah,
strategy.
you cover Ferrari. You just do whatever Ferrari does, match it, do the same thing, and stick in front of him. And he shouldn't be able to pass you.
But you need distance here because the softs are gonna fall off faster than the
Yeah.
hards.
He needs to push. He needs to get a few second gap to be able to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, here's Hamilton radio. Basically, time management is the name of the game for both Mercedes and Aston, actually. So yeah, let me see at the map again. Leclerc. Okay, Sainz is basically nobody around him. He's on a Sunday drive. Verstappen is approaching the back of the pack. He's approaching Ocon, so we might see some lap action starting. Hamilton and Alonso are closing in. Russell
Hamilton
and
radio
Stroll
here.
are relatively close too.
So now they don't want to do the tire management. They want to pick up the pace, which is fair.
You know, maybe Alonso went to Aston so that he could just race Hamilton more closely, because we all know how much he loves to screw over Lewis Hamilton.
I mean, Alonso looks like the winner leaving Alpine.
Oh my God.
I mean, let me tell you, the guy made the right decision. He knew where that ship was headed.
He knew. Yeah. What was it?
He jumped ship the right time. He maybe typically didn't make the best decisions in his career where he should be, but this time he nailed it.
He nailed it.
Like, this one is spot on.
What was it, like when it was like the final race of last year? He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to a faster car."
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's like, haha, what?
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, oh wait, this is awkward.
Oh my goodness. Harris just put another fastest lap actually too, so he's still cranking it there. Hulkenberg here coming out of the pit, not having the best day after qualifying in Q3 actually. Making it all the way to Q3. He's down in 19th. Oh my God, dude, it goes from bad to worse. Actually, we're already
in the pit lane.
Now he's speeding in the pit lane. I don't know. We're already at worse. What do you go if he goes from worse to the even worse? Like I don't know,
Is it
man.
like a joke? Like, is he like trolling at this point on purpose? Like, what is he doing?
That is something else.
Because he's done it 3 times already. He's already gone in the pit. It's not that hard.
This
is Nico, I guess. When was this? Is this the start of the race? Oh, this is that clip at the start of the race where we saw it. Yeah, this is lap 1. Don't get too confused.
Yeah.
I guess Hulk went a little. See, I'm telling you, there's got to be a new thing because last year was way easier.
It does look harder.
Maybe
it does
not.
Look like it
I
takes
don't know.
longer.
I thought it was way quicker last year.
It was. You usually just came in like at an angle.
It just like came in, boom, and then you did one
yeah.
thing and it was over. And what's this again? See, the guy has something in there.
He does. He is. He's fueling. He's putting.
It's like hydro or something like it. But dude, it must be awful driving the car. It's like the car's leaking at this point.
I was gonna ask. Does that mean the car is leaking? Like, are they actively like leaking?
Yeah, like what's like, or is it using too? Like, what's going on?
Or they not
like after one car has a short circuit, basically. Like,
yo though, like so look, like now McLaren is on mediums, so they've tried softs, hards, and mediums. McLaren is basically like in test mode here in race 1. Like it's literally YOLO like right now. Like they're literally continuing testing as part of the race at the moment. It's that bad. Like, yikes. So yeah, that's 15 seconds for Ocon, actually. Yeah, funny enough, Norris was interviewed before the race, and he was asked, is the car just hard to drive or is it slow? And he said, well, it's actually a combination of both. I mean, to his credit, I'm glad he gave an honest answer there, actually.
Yeah, but what else are you supposed to say?
I know.
Like, that's the thing about F1 that's so weird. It's like,
I'm assuming
you're honest about it, you seem like you... I feel like, yeah, they do. But like, I feel like you always throw your team under the bus, but it's like, dude, your team also gave you like a garbage car. What are you supposed to do? Like you're supposed to hold up like your end of the bargain, right? Like,
yeah, that is 100% a fair point.
I don't know. It's very weird because you can easily like then the engineers and stuff get pissed, but it's like, dude, like
it's
you
a team sport.
Like, you failed. Like you didn't do it right, so like you can't really be that upset.
It's a team sport. Actually, look at Nico Hulkenberg putting in the fastest lap down at 18th.
He's cracked. I don't know if he didn't have that issue at the beginning, he'd be in the top 12, top 15-ish.
Yeah. There was another one I was about to. Oh, so you wanted to point out, you keep saying about the gap and the distance between Ferrari and Red Bull. So Perez has opened a 6-second gap to Leclerc. And I don't. To me, this seems like Ferrari is just saying,
They're
back
giving
off.
it up. Yeah.
And manage the tires or something like that. We'll get them on the final stint. That's what it seems to me.
You're not going to be able to make up that much time on the final stint at this point. Because what, the Red Bull just covers and goes equal tire for you.
I guess. I mean, yeah, if they can go for a similar length of time.
Let's also put this in context, right? This isn't like a Ferrari mess up. It's not. This is just the Red Bull is faster than the Ferrari.
It's either that or it's a Red Bull masterclass, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it's like this is like a Ferrari mistake or anything like that. I think it's just it's just not as competitive.
Basically, Red Bull is racing the same distance on softs as the rest of the field
as
is
the
on hards. It just seems insane.
Hamilton radio. Interesting. He's saying the car was. They want him to pit so he can get ahead of Alonso and not have to deal with it. That guy looks like a child, though small he is.
Oh yeah, the one right.
It was because he was hunched up. Hey, that was weird. It looked like he was like literally like 4 foot tall.
Yeah. I mean, Perez is a second a lot faster.
Should be fine.
On
still is.
I feel like Ferrari needs to make the tires last
here.
An extra 10 laps. Yeah, but they're just gonna box. So like, this doesn't make any sense.
No, they're gonna just go hard till the end of the race. That's it for them.
Yeah, but then, well, Red Bull has to swap tires because you have to use at least 2, right? You have to use 2 different compounds.
Yeah, so they're going hards at the end.
Right. So they've taken 2 stints on softs. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you were able to do 2 stints on the faster, softer tires, and everybody else in the field has to do 2 stints on hards. Like, you're just so launched. Something is.
I mean, thank God they got they broke the cost cap.
I
because
guess
this would be worse.
I guess,
right?
man. Like, they're that far ahead. Like, their pace is that incredibly good.
Or is it? This track also is a Red Bull-ish track, right? It's straight line speed. It's less corners. That was a really good stop there by Ferrari. 2.3 seconds is excellent. 2.5 for Russell too. Excellent. Everybody sort of improved. Last year we would see average like 2.8 and then you'd see a 2.5 and be like, that's good.
Yeah.
Is Russell going to be behind Stroll? Oh, this may get ugly.
I think
Russell's
so,
going to take the outside, try to push Stroll. He's got colder tires too. That is something I did want to talk about before. Stroll's going to have the DRS here, and I think he's going to be able to pass Russell quite easily here. Yep.
So you're not allowed to use the blankets anymore, right?
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about.
Okay.
So yesterday we started to see a lot less, or we started to see more lockups and more kind of issues with the tires and more things going on with that. And that's as a result because they are allowed to use the tire blankets, but they are not allowed to use them for the extended period of time as last year. So last year you could keep them on as long as you wanted. Now you can't, and you have to take them off at a certain amount of time. And that obviously makes the tires less warm, which when you go out there, it makes it less sticky. It makes it also harder to race in Georgia's situation here, and it causes you easier lockups and more mistakes. I don't really know why they're going away from it.
I don't either. It doesn't seem, I don't know.
I
would like my tires nice and warm.
It looks like it, or it seems like it like lessens the excitement, right? Because the car,
yeah,
I don't know. It's like reverse of what they're trying to do, right? It's like if you gave them the tire blankets, they'd be a lot better and they can race right away. Like right there, George would be in a better condition to be able to race right away, maybe. And it like Stroll wouldn't have such a big advantage. So it's just kind of interesting. But later on, halfway through the season, I forget exactly which race, it will be totally cut off and no more tire blankets. So they're weeding
At all. At all.
at all,
At all.
So it's kind of a transition period throughout the season, which I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot more like lockups, accident. I don't know. I think it's a safety thing. But anyways,
I would like
Oh,
my
God,
tires
Lego.
nice and toasty. They're telling him to box this lap. You have another time penalty. So I mean, he's up to 15 seconds worth of time penalty right now. Not that it really matters because he's only battling Norris for 19th place, really. And actually, the two Hasses has it's kind of gone from bad to worse here. They've gone from their rock star to wanker status at the moment as 16th and 17th for Haas, unfortunately. As Leclerc has gone into the pit lane, and now we're going to go on hards here as well for presumably the rest of the race. Remember, we had a stop, what was it, at around 15 or 16 laps, so you basically went almost 20. So you got to go about 23 laps here on these this set of hards. They're going till the end of the race, basically. On the other hand, though, you have the Red Bulls that are still out there on their soft tires. And they will be on newer hard tires by when all is said and done. So I don't think there's a chance, again, barring some act of God, that the engine explodes on either Red Bull. Like, it's just not happening.
The next interesting thing that happens is Alonso pitting.
Yeah,
Yes.
from third. Yeah.
Because everybody else is done.
Let me take a look there.
Yeah. Everybody
else.
else has already pitted twice, right? Yep. The Red Bulls have only pitted once, but the interval between. Wait, this is interval to each other.
This is interval.
Perez gets a free box. He'll be close to Alonso, but it won't be. Yeah, it's like barely. But then Alonso still has to pit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Correct. So
hopefully this race finishes and hopefully no accidents, so I can watch my Liverpool in peace.
It was 24.2 seconds was the last full sort of pit stop for Perez.
Could have been quicker.
That's right. You have a Liverpool game coming up, don't you?
Yeah, 2.7. Yeah, we'll probably lose.
Are you in the top 4?
Nah, we're bad this season.
No. Yeah, so they pitted Alonso too. So there was no actual like.
Yeah, so they never actually.
It would have been close though because it was a 25 second.
Really close. Yeah, but it's not worth it. I think. No. Like it doesn't do anything. I think at that point you just lose time.
Agreed. Now the question is, where does
this is the interesting part where Alonso ends up here.
Relative to Sainz. Okay, so he ends up in 5th. Now
no, but he's on fresher and newer tires, so this is him hunting
6th.
him down.
So you're right. Okay, so he ends up in 6th. Now going to hunt down Hamilton. So right, this is what we were saying before. Like, pretty sure this is the only fun. This is what Alonso is here for. He's here to go get Hamilton.
That's crazy. They like messed this up on the front jack.
It did look like Perez
and like
started
they still get a 2.7 stop. He almost runs the guy over too.
Yeah, that's why Perez like had to stop, like to sort of hesitated there when he went forward. I think they need a new jack. Honestly, that jack looks like it's now busted.
Well, he like rammed it. He didn't stop the car.
Verstappen is a full third of a lap ahead of his own teammate. He is 40 seconds in front. Although he needs to pit for hards, so that'll take 25 seconds out.
So I guess it's, does Russell catch Stroll and does Alonso catch Hamilton?
Well, let's see.
And it looks like Alonso's catching Hamilton because he's about to be under a second.
Alonso is catching Hamilton. He just put in 2 purple sectors, actually.
That's what they were talking about before, too, that they had higher tire than the Mercedes. He's already under a second, so I would love to get the camera on that. Except we're watching, I guess, Pierre Gasly. I guess this is not bad. Pierre Gasly on Albon here. for the points in 10th.
Yep. They're fighting for that 10th spot, which is 1 point. I always thought, so I was thinking about it during the off season, what would make Formula One more exciting, and it's actually if you end up condensing, if like the point spread is compressed, right? Because the first place is like 25, and then the second place is like 19. And there's like such a huge gap between like first and second, but by the time you get to the bottom, the gaps close, right?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So like it would make it much more exciting if like, if it was just actually if you like scored it like you did sailing, where you like
it's the least amount of points.
Exactly, it's the least amount of points. Like your first place is 1 point, and then you win based on having the lowest number effectively.
I'm assuming this McLaren has to get out of the way.
Yeah, this is definitely a blue flag situation here for Lando.
Yeah. Okay, Gasly's still behind 0.6 seconds behind Albon. That's the battle for 10th. And then this is, I guess, the next interesting one, which is Alonso on Hamilton and is 0.6 seconds behind Hamilton.
So Alonso here
down the main straight now
has to get this done, because I think what he actually wants is to go try to chase the Ferraris.
Yeah, I think so too.
So here's the DRS.
Lewis does an excellent job blocking every path there.
Yeah, that's very nicely done.
Didn't do that great though. It's gonna be a little slower. He may lose it here. Alonso's going on the inside. He's gonna break way later. Yeah. Oh! Alonso spun the tires, and Lewis is gonna be able to go in front. Yep.
Did he now?
No, I think he spun it. I don't think he got I think he tried to literally push the gas in though, and he didn't have the traction. I don't think he hit him. I don't think they touched.
That was.
Yeah. He lost traction totally, 100%. They got too excited.
Well,
but this is the next one here. He's gonna DRS again on this straightaway. I don't think he can make the pass here. Passing here is got to be nuts to pass there.
And he did just they both used the battery charge on the other one. It looks like Verstappen pitted, but we didn't really care. So.
Oh no, they did. We saw it.
Oh my God. We have one of the folks from our Duke streams in here, Waylaid. Welcome and good morning to UNC Sticks.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning, Duke fans.
It's a good way to wake up.
It's a good Sunday morning for us. UNC is still bad.
Attempt number 2 by Alonso. He's coming in on Lewis here. He's going to try to peek on the inside, I think. Lewis blocks the inside. Very nice job. He's going to take a very smaller line.
It's a bit of a role reversal from last year, wouldn't you think? That's usually like Lewis.
Usually he was blocking him.
Yeah, exactly.
Alonso's going to try and go outside. He tries to go then outside, but that blocks off really well from Lewis again.
He doesn't have the battery because he used up the charge on the previous overtake attempt. Maybe here, maybe. He's kind of,
Oh! Goes on the. I told you had to be crazy to pass there.
Yeah, but it's Fernando Alonso. Look at that.
And he kept the DRS. Dude, he totally caught him napping.
He dove him on the inside there, and the
DRS. But Lewis didn't even think about it because he was like, "This guy's not going to do it." I've never seen. That's crazy to pass there, dude. The amount of times I've crashed trying to pass there in the sim is unbelievable. It never works.
Oh man, that's fun. Now he's trying to chase down the Ferraris, though. Although he's probably just made that made his Sunday, so he's very happy with that.
Is this the first one? I'm curious what actually happened in the beginning. I don't think they ever touched, and I think he just tries to. Yeah, he puts the power down and he just.
Wow. Okay. I would like the cockpit view of it though.
This is when he makes the pass.
This one is the actual pass. Yeah, he like gets him inside here. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Carrying a ton of speed through that corner.
Yeah, he just lifts the pedal and just the car sticks. And we unfortunately missed the part where Lewis tried to get back at him, and then Lewis should have DRS here, but I still think the acid is too fast down the straight line. I don't think it matters. We never. I think we saw Russell pass Stroll once, but we haven't really seen the.
Ironically enough, Alonso had to put in the fastest lap to actually make the pass on Hamilton's stick.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Now, can they reel in Sainz is the question. So
Yeah, that's the.
Third is a little out of reach.
No. Leclerc has third. Leclerc literally is just driving the car around the track. Same thing with Perez and Verstappen. They're locked in at this point.
The podium,
The only
yeah, you're
spot
right.
is
I
Sainz
see
where
it.
he-
I see it now.
But this is weird to me. How is Sainz 9 seconds behind?
Yeah, I thought the funniest comment of qualifying yesterday was right there in Q1, where Martin Brundle says it, something to the effect of like, and not much has changed for Ferrari. One is broken and the other is just slow.
Yeah, it's just slow. Like
Uh,
I get it. I get the difference between Max and Perez. But last year, the difference between Leclerc and Sainz wasn't usually that big. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm not remembering. I don't know. Here's Lewis still trying to get back at Alonso, but I just don't think the car's quick enough in a straight line right now.
oh, look who decided to jump up here. Hi, buddy. Oh.
Mine's sleeping. I took her out this morning.
Oh, I took him out before the race too. Oh, look at you.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
Wow, Lando can't even drive the car on the
Dude.
track, man.
Yeah.
That is
the Alpines and the McLarens are so bad.
like what an awful experience, honestly. I'm seeing a yellow flag on
Holy
my
shit.
live time. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no. Mamma mia. Oh my, are you kidding me? This cannot be real life, man. I can't. Like, what? Oh my.
when 20 seconds later, Sainz is going to stop? I mean, it's pretty easy for them to get it out. They just have to push it back, right?
they just have to roll
So
it back.
I think they'll just virtual, and I don't think they will, which saves Sainz. But what happened?
Literally, cue the Leclerc memes, guys, with him on the wall. I mean, let me
I'm
get.
listening. Nothing. It just cuts. It just died.
Oh my god. This is literally meme time, guys. Oh Lord. So Ferrari had locked in the podium with third. And there goes Leclerc. Well, season's over before it starts. In race one.
I mean,
the depression for Charles continues. It's just really sad. Is Red Bull gonna go back onto softs? Oh my gosh. It's like adding insult to injury, man. They're just like, oh yeah, we can get 15 laps out of the soft tires. Let's do it. Let's just like for kicks here. Wow. That is yeah. And we're back to green.
Dude, this guy has the worst luck ever, man.
At this point, is it luck?
I mean, what is he supposed to do?
No, I'm saying there's like something systemically wrong with like. Oh man. All right, well, so Sainz actually, so we were.
So it looks like Alonso may get a podium if he
I was gonna say
here.
we were sort of joking, right? That like, oh, maybe Alonso could catch Sainz, but then he's got no shot at ever catching Leclerc. So it's a third place for Ferrari. Not the case anymore, right? Not the case anymore. We might see Fernando Alonso on the podium here, which would actually be quite something. He just put in the fastest lap. Oh yeah.
I think that's the only Alpine left relevant, and that's Gasly passing Albon.
So
this is two AlphaTauris going side by side. De Vries and Sonoda, they're almost going to go 3 wide with the other with Zhao behind, and then this is going to be Yuki and Yuki's still going to be able to go inside.
Yeah, De Vries on the hard tires, Yuki on the softs there in 11th and 12th. So actually, like, not terrible if they end up in 11th and 12th. AlphaTauri has been sort of struggling all afternoon. So it would not be a terrible result.
Yeah, it's actually not awful if they're able to make this move their way up. I'm curious about what happened with Sargent though. He was running a few spots just behind Albon, and now he's in 14th. He's dropped further back.
Let's see. I'm still looking at this Alonso. Alonso is now 1.074 behind Sainz and closing. Like, Sainz is in for a battle right now.
Yeah. Look at Pierre becoming the #1 Alpine driver.
Yeah.
That was a nice pass on the outside there. It was excellent. Very good.
It's been a real recovery race for him too, because he started
in 20th.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
he
literally
bad.
started at the back of the pack. And he actually has just put the fastest lap.
Just out.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. At that point, I wouldn't be able to drive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to focus. I'd be like, yeah, this is just over. Alonso's pretty close.
I mean, he's within a second here. He's going to have DRS on the next go around. Things are going from bad to worse here for Ferrari here, who is sitting.
I'm nervous for Ferrari.
Looking at a 3-4.
Their race pace. Their race pace. This means their race pace is less than at. Wow. Here's Yuki. Wait, I'm confused when this was. Oh, wow. He actually makes the double pass right there. That was very good from Yuki. That was very patient, which is not what we've seen from Yuki in the past.
Right.
Nice move. Good job there. It's excellent.
And he's actually moved himself up to 11th right now.
Well, yeah, this is the thing at AlphaTauri, right? Like Gasly obviously was like the older brother and kind of the one that would take care of Yuki and helped him out a lot, and it was really great. And he's on his own now. This is like Yuki, if you mess it up this season, like you're probably not going to be in Formula One anymore. So it's his time to, strap his pants on, put the helmet on, and get to it. And
wouldn't be surprised to see him making a push to for Albon here before all is said and done. We got 13 laps to go. And speaking about 13 laps, Carlos Sainz wishes this race was over sooner rather than later, because right now he is about to be eaten alive by the DRS.
He's so cooked.
Yeah, of Alonso here.
You already know when he's looking at his mirrors in the first part of the corner. Yeah. Sainz's radio is.
Oh, jeez.
What does he mean? He may not make it to the.
Oh, on the tires.
He thinks he won't. He'll like lose to Hamilton too. Is what he's saying.
Or is he just gonna run out of gas?
Like, no, he'll just run out of tire and just start dropping all the way too fast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like Alonso,
He takes the inside line there. Signs Alonso's going to go outside. He gets a little wiggle, and then Alonso's going to get a nice exit here, and he's going to get the DRS. But actually, Signs did okay here. He's going to have DRS. Signs going to cut off the inside. He's going to make Alonso go the long way around. Oh wow, they hit each other. Alonso goes right into the back of Signs there.
Either that or he
totally just ran into him.
Okay. I'm very lucky there's no puncture there, actually.
Very lucky both of them are still in the race.
Yeah. Now they're going to wheel to wheel. Interesting, the two Spanish drivers, yeah?
Oh, it's such a bad lockup. There goes all of Sainz's race after that. Yeah, he's got the DRS too. I think he's cooked.
It does look that way.
And he's going to screw his entire race because of it too.
Well, he tries to go back on the inside here, but
no, Hamilton's right behind him. 1 second, he's going to get eaten alive. He's going to end up in 5th. But I'm surprised. He may get a penalty. I mean, you can't just hit the other car. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. It didn't really result in any competitive advantage, though.
He took the place.
After. But yeah, here's the DRS of Hamilton. Actually, yeah, you're right. He's gonna.
Yeah, he's cooked.
Wow.
He's got the huge flat spot too.
Yep.
I mean, Sainz needs to keep the DRS from Alonso, but I think Alonso. Yeah, so this is going to be where the contact is. Well, I mean, Sainz is moving under braking también.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They definitely do touch.
Dude, he just drives right into the back of him.
Drives, yeah.
Like, it's pretty like cut and dry. Like,
oh my, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it is kind of crazy that both cars are still going, man. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was gonna break.
It's sort of interesting though. It's like when both cars hit each other going at the relatively same speed, is actually like minimal impact. Like, because they're both going in the same direction, and there's just like no force going between the cars. It's sort of interesting. Whereas obviously you see the big collisions happen.
Lewis going to try to take the inside, thinking about it. He's going to peak. He's going to be way later on the brakes. Sainz is cooked, man. I think Lewis is going to be able to get Sainz here. When he gets DRS again, he's going to think about it. He's going to go on the inside. Sainz takes the outside, cuts in. He's going to stay in front. A little wiggle there from Lewis.
I actually am starting to wonder if Sainz can even hold on, like, to 7th. Like,
the tire deg on the Ferrari is so bad.
Like assume Hamilton passes him.
They're so slow.
He's in 5th. Then he's about 6 seconds behind Stroll, and then Russell's only 2 seconds behind there.
I love how Norris is like,
yeah. No, Norris is chilling. Norris is chilling right behind Hamilton.
Like, this is my race is exciting. You know, like I'm right here.
Oh my goodness. Norris is chilling right behind Hamilton, leeching DRS right now.
Yeah, this is just, he's got way too much speed. I mean, it's awesome for them. They've been like 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
granted, whatever, you buy your performance, but who cares? Like, you still got to put in the work and put in the time and everything. Like, these people are. It's not like they're not working, right? It's
See,
not like they just buy it and magically the car goes faster. They still have to put in a lot of effort, and I've had a lot of disappointing seasons. It's cool. It's nice to see.
see,
But
this is what I mean about the points, right? The gap between
yeah, the
first and
spread's too
second is
much.
7, and then it's 3, 3, 2 the whole way down, right? It's just too much. Like the first place needs to be 20 or 21, essentially, and then you come up with a much
Times, right?
better
Yeah.
and much more competitive. Why am I bouncing so
Why is
much?
he
Because you have a
bouncing so
huge
much?
flat spot on the left front.
I don't know. Oh, interesting. He thinks that the porpoising. I mean, they all sort of bounce. He is actually bouncing a lot. If you look at that straight,
I
it
think
actually
it's
does look kind of bad.
yeah, but I think it's because of the tire flat spot.
Oh, Norris.
Oh, Norris is to peel off.
Yeah, he's definitely bouncing. Lewis is kind of bouncing the same though. There's also a spot there on the main straight where there's like a tunnel or under like a walkway tunnel, and every car bounces once they hit that like one spot. And then Lewis, I think, is gonna maybe make the bat. No, I think it's too far. Yeah.
I mean, he's 3/10 off technically, but like
Yeah, the straight line speed of the Mercedes is just not that great. That's
when
the
the cars are
problem.
this close, it's kind of hard to tell exactly. Well, hold on. So, yeah, they were just talking about the power units. You mentioned that they had to send back a power unit on Leclerc's car.
It wasn't a power unit. It was the energy supply or like the energy capacitor. It's like
Okay.
a different. It's different than the power unit, but you're only allowed to have two for the
Yeah,
season, or you
okay.
start taking
Okay.
penalty.
All right, so the issue
Is
with
this
his car that caused him to retire.
if the running order doesn't change though? I
Yeah.
think we actually have to say that Gasly has put in a ridiculously good drive.
I would agree. He's also got the fastest lap at the moment. He's in 9th.
He's in 9th. He's gone from literally 20th to 9th.
Does he have an
Like,
opportunity to move up again? Let's see. He's got
they
7
need to
seconds.
move the
I don't think
timings
so.
things to see. I don't think so.
I see 7 seconds is the gap there. I mean, yeah, Alonso just has to bring it home because
Yeah,
he's not
basically like,
catching.
I just need to coast. Yeah, he's fine. He's not going to cast it. Black and white frag for Hulkenberg. Maybe that's finally been the wing thing, but I thought they already had changed it. Kind of
No, it's track
unfortunate and
limits.
kind of a bummer for Haas being down
Yeah.
in 15 16. They were doing pretty well last year, and this year I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a bad race or something. Just
McLaren
really
pitting
didn't put it
Norris to put him
together.
onto soft tires, like just trying to get as much data as they possibly can.
I think it's so weird that like Mick just stands next to Toto the whole time, or like, oh, he's the reserve driver, just stands next to Toto. It's just so, it's just kind of funny.
I'm here. I'm making myself present.
Lewis is losing time with DRS. Or no, I guess now he gets it back, but
I mean, is he gonna hang on? It's kind of this is a crazy battle here. Although, funny enough, it's like not even for a podium, right?
what this?
Yeah.
Yeah, the scrap. Yeah, it's not even for it. It's just for 4th.
It's 4th and 5th.
Oh, so sorry if you're listening in Discord, you may hear some Liverpool in the background.
Your game starting?
Yeah.
Well, we're about 6 laps. We're only 6 laps here from the end. Oh, finally we've gone back to Max, who we haven't seen all race.
I guess this is how it was when Lewis was winning all his championships, right?
Yeah, I
It was
guess
just
so.
like cars like 30 seconds faster than all the other cars.
Yeah, that was rather lovely, is what Max is gonna say.
Yeah, it's just gonna say it was a nice afternoon stroll, you know? But I mean, if you look at it this way, in the points, you have Aston Martin in second,
Yep. Aston Martin in second.
Ferrari in fourth, Mercedes in third. Stroll makes the pass on Russell. We did not see
we
that.
did not see that.
Wait, how? He's 2 seconds. That was a really big lockup there from the AlphaTauri. I think that was De Vries Magnussen making the pass, moving up to 14. Wait, how did they just flip spots? Look at the time gap.
Yeah. 2.2, that's weird. I don't know, that's hard to tell.
Did someone?
I'm trying to look at the map and it looks like Stroll is definitely like way out in front.
Here's a replay of it. So Stroll's in 6. He
Wait, where's the
can't
car?
turn the car.
Oh my god, what?
Wait.
No, that wasn't the pass.
Wait, but Russell didn't ever pass him then. I don't know. It's the first race of the season for the graphics guys, I guess. So give it a.
No, but the
I don't
map
know.
does show Stroll ahead of Russell.
Yeah, I know. Now he's ahead though, but it's swapped. But the time gap, it was never within a second, so it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
like,
it
wrong
was weird.
originally.
Weird.
And
Okay.
this is what I was saying about Sargent up in 12. Not bad. Williams here, Alonso Radio. This. Wow.
Well, he's a fan of the car. There you go.
Yep.
I mean, you probably think that of a Red Bull too, right?
I mean, if you threw him in a Red Bull too, I think he'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really dropped off driver skill much compared to others. Wait,
All
there's
right.
a broken toe?
Yeah, there was the
legs?
broken toe too.
Oh, I thought it was just the wrists were hurt. Interesting.
I think, yeah, I mean, Frank, I think this is how it's going to end. Double.
Yeah, I don't think there's
1,
any
2.
other way it's gonna end.
Red Bull started with a front row lockout at 1-2. They'll end on the podium 1-2, and then Alonso's going to come in third. And Leclerc is just going to have a nightmare happen again. Unfortunate for Leclerc, man. You got to feel for him. Because he has, like, so much potential.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
there's nothing he can do.
No, there's nothing he can do.
He just needs a new team.
I mean, but like what?
I don't know. Yeah, where does he go? Yeah,
you can't go to like you're not gonna win a championship at Red Bull while Max Verstappen is there. It doesn't like.
No, I agree.
So
I agree.
You're sort of stuck. You know, Logan Sargent looking 12th, very respectable finish here. If this is with how the running order goes, Albon in 10th.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, your first debut in Formula One,
he will finish.
You're also not that far off your teammate.
No, and he will finish
but
ahead of the other rookies.
I guess the fight here is between Yuki and
Albon, right?
And Albon for 10th for the points there.
Yep.
Right? So this should be the only interesting kind of portion towards the end here. Everybody else is just driving their own race. I'm curious if Yuki can get close enough. We'll see though.
Yeah, you kind of like when you said oh, Yuki's like kind of turning it on here, and he made that double pass when you pointed that out. I had a sense of like, is he gonna try to like go full out and push here on the Williams? Is he gonna try to go get that point? And it looks like he is definitely fighting for it. And the other thing you called earlier, Gasly up 11 places, because to your point, he started in 20th and he's in 9th. So
it's a mega drive from him to be able to do that.
yeah,
I don't even care how fast the car is, whatever car you're in, coming up 9 places like that through the whole race, and clearly the car is not very good. Like seeing from Ocon, like the car's is not great.
Yep.
Being able to do that is pretty impressive. But I mean, that's what we should expect from Pierre, right? At this point in his career, I think it's fair. Like he's doing what he should be doing.
We'll add some fuel to the fire of who is the #1 driver at Alpine.
Or does Pierre? Hold on. What's his lap time? 2 seconds.
1:36.979.
I don't think he catches. I don't think he catches
Bottas. I don't think so.
I don't even think Yuki can catch Albon, even with DRS though. Like I just don't think he has enough, unless they're just saving battery charge for one more. But I still think that's pretty. It's pretty tough. Alonso radio.
What was he saying?
He's asking if Lance can catch Hamilton.
Ah.
He's probably like, put me in that car. Let's go.
But still, a 3.6, very respectable.
I mean, it's unbelievable for a team that was getting 17, 18th last year, and maybe barely would get into the points once in a while when Vettel had a good day. Like, Vettel's probably like,
when Vettel had a good day. Yeah.
Vettel's probably like, I left and this was the car that they developed.
I retired.
Like, joking me.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Max Verstappen.
Nothing changes.
By 12 seconds. I mean, this is insane. It's just so dominant. Very clean race from him. Just like, very controlled, very smooth.
Bottas also finishing in 8th is pretty solid. I still think his car is not that fast compared to the other ones. Like
he was up there from time to time last year.
Yeah, he was. I feel like Alfa Romeo went a little backwards, or not backwards, but they didn't improve as much, I guess, as the other teams. So seeing him up here is still, it's pretty good work. That's he didn't have the best qualifying.
Let's see.
I still don't think he catches.
Gasly is 1.14 seconds behind Bottas. Probably does not catch.
Like one or two more laps. It's so funny listening to Max drive. He gets off the throttle and like, he's just like straight coasting. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like
final lap.
Like when he hits the brakes, he doesn't even hit him that hard. He just kind of lets it go. There's Nui. The brains.
CH. Well, Fernando Alonso is going to get a podium.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I have to say.
Good for him. Good for him. He jumps ship from Alpine into the Aston Martin, taking a big risk here, and it's going to pay off. In the first race of the season, Alonso is going to take 3rd. How exciting. That's actually very exciting.
I mean, them being in 3rd is just pretty incredible, to be quite honest with you. I mean, they're literally 2nd, like overall.
Yep.
Like the 2nd best team on the grid.
They're the 2nd best constructor on the grid right now. Sainz is going to finish in 4th, Hamilton 5th, Stroll,
What,
Russell,
they went from
Bottas.
9th to that?
Yeah, Gasly and then Albon will round up your top 10, assuming this sticks, although Tsunoda is probably going to go for one last push. And checkered flag. We have a checkered flag for Verstappen here.
This one's everybody else is back. No, I think they're all on the same lap.
Yes, they are all on the same lap.
Yeah, Norris was the only one that was.
You know, it was there was also a stat where apparently the winner of this race finishes runner up.
There's Max.
In the World Championship. For the last 6 years, the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix has finished as the runner-up of the last
good
6
for Checo.
drivers' champions. And I have a feeling that stat's gonna break this year because there's no way Verstappen loses right now. And there it is, Alonso coming across the line.
There it is.
El Plan. Nice.
That's so cool.
I mean, if he keeps swerving, Sainz might get him.
He's trolling the heck out of Sainz there, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
Sainz
I love it.
Finishes 4th.
I have to run down and help with groceries, but I will leave the pictures up if you want to keep talking.
No, I'm good. I'm good as well. You're going to round up your top 10 there as we had called it. Sainz, Hamilton, Stroll, Russell, Bottas, Gasly, and then Albon, followed by Tsunoda and Sargent, actually. Then Magnussen, De Vries, Hulkenberg, Joe, and Norris finally puts himself and his McLaren team out of their misery for today. As Frank said, he'll leave the pictures up. I'm going to try to get back to bed for a bit more sleep. Actually, it's still really early here on the West Coast. But that's it. Is it next week? Are we back next week?
I think it is.
Or are we 2 weeks? What's the deal?
I don't know. I think it's next week.
It's 19th. No, 2 weeks. All right, we'll be back in 2 weeks for the Saudi Arabian one. And I will see you all on Thursday for Duke in the ACC tournament. But until then, see ya. Happy Sunday.
So long.
Bye.